money even has a purpose. It's
Yes.
called currency. Currency
Currency.
moves.
It moves.
Currency moves.
Yes.
Currency is
Flows.
not stagnant, or else it
Right.
becomes stale, right? So
Right.
yeah, all that movement is necessary. That means
Right.
you gotta keep moving, your money gotta keep
Actually,
moving.
there's two things that every successful person needs to be, no matter what your industry, no matter whether you're a teacher, whether you're in the government, business, football, whatever it is you do, the truly successful people have two traits, and they're undeniable.
Taking a trip to Dubai and not just going there for vacation, but going there to do business.
Do
Like
business. Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. What would you say are the keys to being successful in that light?
is living, I'm gonna say living below your means. So basically building that discipline. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, the same thing we've been talking about over and over again is building that discipline and continuing to do the work.
Right, right.
Reading, researching, talking to people, paying attention to your environment, people that you, and I'm talking, when I say that, the people that you're talking to, because like you mentioned from the beginning, they can be that one person
Mm-hmm.
close to you that will try to deflate your dreams if you let them. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're working at it and going at it hard, you know the work that you put in, that blood, sweat, and tears that you put in towards your
Mm-hmm.
goal, that'll just be a bump, and you get back up and you keep on rolling. Because I
Right,
have family members like that.
right, right.
Like nothing is good in the world ever,
Yeah, yeah,
but no, you cannot let that take you off your course.
right,
You in yourself, and you can have whatever you want, and it's okay to want it. It's okay to go
right.
for it. Like we said, the love of money is evil, but money itself is not evil. And
Right.
actually, we was talking about this earlier too. And you said something about money uh oh man, like going through your hands or something like that. But I was like, it's
Yeah.
made to be moved. Money even has a purpose. It's
Yes.
called currency. Currency
Currency.
moves.
It moves.
Currency moves.
Yes.
Currency is
Flows.
not stagnant, or else it
Right.
becomes stale, right? So
Right.
yeah, all that movement is necessary. That means
Right.
you gotta keep moving, your money gotta keep moving.
Right. Right. Well, again, maybe I should be like Dr. Dennis Kimbrough. I actually remember some of these little nuggets that I was dropping. I mean, I
Hey.
talked about this the last segment, the last week, when I was saying that, you know, people will drop jewels on you. You just got to be open and ready to
Yes,
receive it, right?
yes,
And
yes.
there's certain maturity that comes. There's some young people who have it, but not a lot. But I'm sitting here and I'm talking to, there's a new, I'm Kappa, so there's a new I'm talking to. He's a multimillionaire, right?
Mhm,
And I don't want to say he's my mentor because I had a whole bunch of those,
mhm.
but he was one of the dudes that grew me, so to speak, that let me
Okay.
expand my worldview.
Mhm.
And he said, Thaxton, there's two things that every successful person needs to be, no matter what your industry, no matter whether you're a teacher, whether you're in the government, business, football, whatever it is you do, the truly successful people have two traits, and they're undeniable. One is that they're exceptional.
Mm,
They're exceptional at what they do.
mm,
Two, and more importantly, they're indispensable.
mm.
Okay. So he used this analogy, and I use it all the time when I'm talking to my son and my daughter. He says, I have someone working for my company, low level, they work in the mail room, the mail copy room. Okay. They're hard workers and they make copies. This is what they do, right? Hey, we need a copy. They make copies. They're the only person that knows how to work that copy machine, change the
Mm,
ink, the toner, and all. They know how to stack them, make the double-sided.
mm,
Nobody else in the office knows how to do it. But
mm.
this young little eager beaver comes in on time every day, does his work, grinds. That makes him exceptional, right? But what makes him indispensable is that he has a skill that no one else in my office can
Mhm,
do.
mhm.
We ain't firing him because the skill that he has is integral and important to the day-to-day functions of our business.
Right.
We
Wow.
can't have, when we have these big corporate meetings at the shop, well, we have to have visual aids. Well, who do we go to?
Mhm.
Number two, being exceptional and indispensable means you're doing stuff that other people don't want to do.
Yep. Yep.
Now, obviously, we can only pay, and this we said, we can only pay him so much, right? But that skill and those two skill sets that he has, he's not going to be with my company long because someone is going to recognize that
Mhm.
somewhere. And they're going to tap him on his shoulder and say, hey, man, you do exceptionally good work and you're indispensable. We want to move you up.
Mhm.
And I want everybody to hear this, particularly the young folks, right?
Mhm.
If you are exceptional at what you do and indispensable, there are no limits to where you can go. You want to use a sports analogy, you want to use it for business. You think about the greatest of the great, right? They're exceptional and they're indispensable. You want to use sports, great. Exceptional means they got exceptional talent. They can do a lot of, they're freaks. They can do anything.
Mhm.
Indispensable, the team don't win without them.
Yeah.
That guy's not getting cut. He ain't getting traded. He can be a butthole off the field. But if he's exceptional and he's indispensable, they'll make a way for that person. And he told me that. He said, and sometimes as highly successful people run these corporations, we got to pick and choose our battles
Mhm.
because we can't replace that guy and it affects the way our business
Right.
operates. Then we may have to, okay, he just comes in late,
Right.
right? But we gotta balance it out until we find somebody else.
Right.
But a lot of times we don't recognize that those two traits.
Mhm. And I think that goes back to what we've been saying is you having that goals and working towards those goals. That way you make yourself exceptional at whatever your
Mhm.
skill is, and
Right.
thereby become indispensable.
Yep.
Can't get rid of you because they need
No.
your skill, right?
They,
They need your skill. No, and then and also goes back to not overlook anybody. You
right.
know, there's no big eyes and what little U's kind of thing. You know,
Right.
everybody has an important part to play. But once again, we don't need that person. That's that one person that can try to,
Right.
deter you from your goals. Because there's
Right. Right.
so many
Right.
more people that can
Right.
lift you up, encourage you. They're looking to you, to keep going on. So,
Right. Right.
yeah, excellent,
And,
excellent.
and, and that feeds into the larger aspirations. I think that just to kind of bring it back to
Mhm.
where we got started with your initial question in this chapter is that, you know, who told you what you can and cannot do,
Mhm.
right? If you're exceptional and indispensable, that's feeding into just ignoring all that stuff
Right.
because
Right.
you're going somewhere. And
Exactly.
again, it's incremental, steady progression that'll
Yeah.
get you there.
Excellent points.
Yeah.
I think that's like a common theme. Is really keep going, don't stop.
Right.
We're
You're gonna have it every
making
yep,
dollars and cents, things that make sense. Keep
yep,
going.
yep,
Keep
yep.
going.
Hey, what Willie Jolly say? A setback is a setup for a comeback.
We'll come back.
That
Absolutely.
and that's what it is. We're all human, man, right? No one likes to lose. No one likes to fail. It stinks. It hurts. I'm
Mhm.
not telling anyone here to repress
Mhm.
their human emotions, and that's a natural human emotion,
Yes.
right? Disappointment, that's what it is. But
Mhm.
I put that on a 24-hour timeline.
Right.
Okay, I just got shot down. I didn't get what I wanted.
Right.
I got 24 hours to mourn, and then I got to wake up and I got to keep going,
Hmm.
right? Because all I'm looking for is that one shot, one opportunity, whatever that is, right? And, it's a funny thing because I always think about when people come to the neighborhood and they're trying to sell those magazines, right? My neighborhood, we got, I think, 80 houses in the neighborhood, right? They ring the doorbell, they knock. 75 of them are going to tell these guys no.
Right.
But you ever see their face light up when they get the one yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're about to quit. But they
Mhm.
get, yeah, you know what, man? I'll take that fishing stream magazine for $30,
Right.
right? They light up and they leave my front porch and they skipping on down there because they was walking slow when they got to me. But they
Right.
got that subscription. And that's how life is when it comes to money, earning money and being successful. You only
Right.
need that one to keep you going to let you know what? I'm not crazy. I
Mhm.
do have something and I
Right.
can keep pushing.
Right, right. So it's not all in the how many goals I can set, but it's really kind of narrowing it down and
Narrow
being
down to one.
focused, being
That's it.
diligent, being
Right.
consistent, being persistent, all the things, being all the things towards those little bit of goals.
That's
Then
it.
you don't have to say anything once again when you enter the room because
Right.
your work speaks for you. Your
Right. Right.
reputation precedes you, right?
That's
You don't
it.
have to
That's it.
go around telling nobody what all you can do. You've shown them. You've shown.
No, no, no. If they ask you, that's a little different, right? I mean, again, if you ask me, I'm going to
Right,
ring my bell
right.
because you might have something that's going to help me get somewhere. I'm not going
Mhm.
to repress that. But if
Mhm.
you ain't asking me, I ain't telling you nothing
Right,
because I don't need to do that to show that I'm the big boss and all this
right.
other stuff.
Hmm. Let me see. This is my closing remarks. Your habits are what keep you in the position you're in, whether those
Mm,
are good or bad habits. Okay.
hmm.
Spending, sleeping, watching TV, the more shows, watching TV and being on social media all the time, those are habits that really don't benefit you.
Mm-mm.
Right? You need them habits where, like I said, we were saying, reading books, talking to people, studying your investments, paying attention to the stock market, watching CNBC if you're gonna watch TV. If you're gonna read something. You mentioned the book you mentioned earlier, Outliers. Actually,
Outliers, yeah. Malcolm
also
Gladwell.
read. Actually,
Yeah.
your book. What's the name of your book? Mention your book. Another
Well,
good
I'll
one
plug
to
it right
read.
now. Jeb Stuart's Raiders, Memoirs of a Black Captain, so.
Okay. I asked him, see? He didn't tell y'all.
You asked me, I'm going to tell you, but I wasn't
Right. He
thinking
didn't
about
he
it until you
started
asked
bragging
me. Now I'm
on
going to go there.
he didn't start bragging on he wrote a book too, right?
Yeah,
I asked him
yeah.
about it, right? And that thing hit you right from the beginning too. So if he
So,
ever
hey,
goes
hey,
back
hold
into
on, hold on.
publication.
We're not going to digress. We're going to stay here, okay?
Right. All right. So that was my closing remark. You have any closing remarks?
My closing, before I give a closing remark, I do want to talk about, you had mentioned in here about generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
There was one line I can't
That's
find, I
a
didn't
big boss
highlight it.
operations.
Yes.
Okay.
Um, and it may have been something in passing. I thought it was something here about building wealth. And it may have been in the first paragraph, just talking about wealth in general and that
Oh,
sort.
you can say you are saying I do not deserve to be wealthy.
Right. Okay. Well, and it may be tied also to the wealth building word will, because I think will kind of encompasses
Mm-hmm.
one aspect of just the generational wealth piece,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I just made a note that to build generational wealth, and in parentheses, and to keep it,
Mm-hmm.
there has to be uh generational financial literacy
Mm-hmm.
that's passed down from one generation to the other. And I think we've talked about this offline, that nothing's being passed down. I'm not even
Mm-hmm.
talking about just material. I'm talking about knowledge and information.
Right.
Even if it's mistakes, right, that we've made as teachable moments for those that are coming up.
Right.
So we will take that stuff to the grave with us. Our people in particular, we will take things to the grave with us. Knowledge, and the next generation doesn't learn. And it was starting this cycle of stupidity, as you
Right.
said in the previous chapter, all over again. And at
Right.
some point, to have the generational wealth that we should have, and that many of us have earned and deserved, there has to be some sort of torch being passed down,
Mm-hmm.
right? It shouldn't be, well, we have to wait to dad dies in order for us to have money. Oh, and then by the way, in 20 years, that money's going to be completely depleted.
Right.
And then I got to wait for mom to go. And then we just start this cycle. We're not learning, we're not building
Right.
anything.
Right.
So I think that generational, when you have the will part, yes, everybody needs to have a will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't, again, my good uncle,
Mm-hmm.
he comes when
Right.
you go, death tax and all
Right.
that stuff. Uncle Sam's going to get that. When you in the ground, yeah, you in the ground, I'm coming to get mine. But you better lay out how you want it to go, because Uncle Sam's going to pick and parse it all out. But the will is important. But part of that will is one and critical aspect of the generational wealth piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people need to understand. And it don't cost you a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Wills aren't just for rich people,
Right.
right?
Right.
Even if you don't have a lot, you should still have a will, because it does show that you're making an investment long term.
Right.
For building that. It could be the seeds that are planted.
In your investment long term for your family. Like I was
Right.
saying, like I've been saying throughout, this video, is that we're trying to change the mindset, that
Mhm.
thinking like I don't want to leave a whole bunch to nobody. I ain't
Mhm.
trying to leave nobody in a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, what? Like when I hear people say that, like, why? Like,
Right.
why would you not want to pass down something to your family?
Right.
I don't know. And like I said, I don't even have children.
Right.
And I still want to pass down something to my family. I
Right, right.
still have
And
that
they'll
desire.
appreciate it. Yeah, they'll appreciate it. And then just my closing comments just about this section in general. And since you like to keep it real, I'm gonna close the book here. And I'm just gonna say this, right? Because you don't have a right just to be angry. I gotta have some of this too, right? But I'll just say this, man. If you're not happy with your disposition financially, do something about
Absolutely.
it. Okay. It's just that simple, right? Um, it's not simple to make the change, but it's simple. It's free. It costs you nothing. So you know what? I'm tired. Enough's enough. I need to do something. Start right there.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, what's going to happen is you're probably going to take a nap and go to sleep. And when you wake up, that stink and that anger may have worn off, and you'll go right back to doing what you got to do. I'm asking you not to do that.
Hmm.
When you wake up, be even more pissed off and do something about it. Now, I'm not telling you go in and cuss out your manager and quit your job and all that. Take this job and shove it. No, I'm saying keep your job, work toward finding another one,
Right.
or work toward your skill sets.
Skill
If you're
set.
saying you want to be some millionaire, read. How did they get to where they got? It wasn't overnight. They had to learn something. They had to humble themselves, number one. You have to accept the fact that I'm weak in these areas and I'm lacking knowledge or ignorant in these areas. I'm strong here, but I'm lacking in these areas. Information is free.
Right.
Sometimes all I got you ain't just got to read. Sometimes you just go ask.
Hmm.
And I'll just give this other anecdote. If you ever want to know how to be rich or make money, millionaires love to talk. They'll tell you every damn thing. You know why? Because they have a moat. Warren Buffett said this, right? There's a moat. If anybody don't know what a moat is, basically a castle, there's water, a body of water in between, and there's land. Well, the truly successful, wealthy people don't feel any threat from regular common folks.
Mm.
They have a moat. You are no threat to them. You're not taking anything they have. Now, when you get to their level and you have some kind of competitive,
Mm.
something competitive within their industry, that's when it becomes maybe a little bit of a problem. They're not going to share any information. But
Hmm.
the average person, they will tell you everything.
Hmm.
And what I've learned is the reason they'll tell you because there's no expectation that you are going to act on anything they tell you.
Hmm. Yeah. Those habits that I mentioned earlier, your habits.
That's that. I mean, they will tell you that. I'm going to tell you. I'll write the blueprint and give it to you.
Hmm.
But 9 times out of 10, only the exceptional will ask on it. Only the truly hungry will ask. Will act on it.
Hmm.
And I'm keeping it as real as possible, right?
Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with having the average life. Nothing at all wrong with that. You got to be good with that. But you can't be funky like you're a boss too, to try to impress other people
Right.
and project. If you're
Exactly.
good where you at, be good. I'm happy for you.
Be
But if you
good.
really want to be a boss and you really want to be successful, investing in all of these other things, you got to learn. You got to educate. You got to read all these egghead books and stuff and better yourself. And then what will happen, my last point, there will be a revelation. You'll say, you know what? I've been doing something wrong. I've been in a perpetual state of stupidity for a long time with respect to my money. It will happen because it happened to both of us.
Hmm. Yep.
It's too simple. And again, I'm not saying get rich quick scheme. I'm
Hmm.
just saying just the basic discipline and principles to turning things around, excuse me, financially.
Right.
And we'll talk about a couple other things in the chapter, I'm sure, in the book about
Hmm.
those turnaround moments that we had with respect to different financial vehicles, right? But that's the thing. If you are unhappy with where you are in your financial disposition, your family's financial disposition, the first thing you got to do is say, okay, you know, enough. I'm tired. That's free. That costs you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, you're gonna have that pause, right? You're gonna go get you a plate of food. You'll be disgruntled, but something about when you eat, you calm down, right? I don't want you to calm down. When you wake up, I want you to be pissed off and then do something about it. There's
Excellent
my
message.
close it with that.
Excellent message. So you're gonna have big boss aspirations. Big boss, being a boss takes work.
That's it.
Being a boss takes work. That's my final comment on that. You know, your
That's it.
habits will determine how high or how low you go. So being a big boss takes work in
Yep.
either direction.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Hey, hey, hey.